Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Brumble-Bleski, Mr. Al Brandel, distinguished members of the Lions Club, dear friends, and ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to join you for this 31st Annual Lions Day at the United Nations. The Lions has a long and proud history supporting the World Organization. You were present at the founding conference in 1945 when United Nations was founded. You have stood by our side ever since, and I appreciate that. You share the same goals with the United Nations. Foremost among them is peace. I particularly welcome the theme of this year's Lions Peace Poster Contest. Peace begins with me expresses a fundamental truth that needs to be continually stressed. Each of us, every single individual around the world, has a contribution to make to the great global project of building a more peaceful world. I have just returned from a short visit to Haiti. Before that, I visited Africa. Peace was a dominant theme wherever I went. Peace in Haiti, peace in Zimbabwe, peace in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and peace in the Middle East. In Sharm el-Sheikh, in Egypt, I talked with world leaders about the peace in the Middle East. There is an African saying, I quote, "When elephants fight, the grass gets trampled." In too many places, ordinary men and women are the innocent victims of conflict. That is why everywhere I go, I try to speak out for the world's most vulnerable people. Earlier this year, I stood in the burning rubble of the United Nations compound in Gaza, where life has become extraordinarily difficult. I have been following events in Sri Lanka, where innocent civilians are caught in the crossfire of war. In the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, I visited a hospital that is helping women to recover from unspeakable acts of brutality. And I have listened to the testimony of children abducted from their families and forced to fight, take drugs, and commit atrocities. Children from Africa, from Latin America, from Asia. Their stories were shocking. But with the help, these children have been able to put their terrible experiences behind them. They have shown us the resilience of the human spirit. I see such resilience wherever I go. I see the good work that the United Nations is doing, and I see how important our partners are. Organizations like the Lions are vital in helping us to achieve our goals. Your Sight First program has helped to reduce preventable blindness around the world. You are also helping the World Health Organization to combat childhood blindness. You support UNICEF's School in a Box program. When children's lives are disrupted by conflict or disaster, you make sure that they can get straight back to the important business of learning. In a few minutes, we will honor the winner of this year's Lions International Peace Poster Contest. The winning poster is heartwarming and inspiring. It truly expresses the message that peace begins with me. That message is especially resonant in these difficult times. We face multiple challenges. In 2008, a further 40 million people joined the ranks of undernourished. The legal economic downturn threatens to make things worse. In 3 weeks, I will attend G20 Summit Meeting in London. There, I will meet with the leaders of the countries that represent 85% of the world's economy. I will remind those leaders of the need to fulfill their promises to the world's most vulnerable people. Last Tuesday, I had a good meeting with President Obama of the United States, and I have spoken with the Prime Minister of Gordon Brown of the United Kingdom, who will act as president of G20 Summit Meeting. With both leaders, I have stressed that my message as the Secretary General of the United Nations is to deliver the wishes and concerns of 172 member states who would not be in London and whose challenges should not be neglected. And they must not lose the sight of the challenges and pride of so many vulnerable people around the world. Their promises to Africa, their promises to achieve the Millennium Development Goals, I will tell them that their stimulus packages must not forget the poor. I will also talk about combat climate change. This is a threat to us all. I will emphasize that their stimulus packages must be green. They must include significant investment in clean energy, renewable energy, and energy efficiency. And I will argue that a green recovery plan will also mean more jobs. I will also remind the G20 summits that the world's poorest countries are the least responsible for climate change. But it would be ironic that those countries who have least contributed to this current global warming phenomenon should be hit the hardest. The impact of global warming does not respect boundaries of national geography. And they do not respect whether you are rich or poor. They do not respect whether you are coming from, whether you are coming from Africa, America, Europe, and Asia. Unfortunately, the causes of the global warming have been uneven, but the result of the impact is equal all throughout the world. This is something which we have to rectify. I have been urging the industrialized countries that you must feel the sense of historical responsibility. Thus, you must help the developing countries so that they can adapt and mitigate their current challenges, global warming challenges. For that possible, the industrialized countries should provide necessary financings and technology. Wealthy nations also must agree to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. They must lead by example. They must be able to make a target by 2020 to significantly reduce by the level of 1990. And they must agree to help the poorer countries adapt to changes we know are going to happen. These things must be agreed by December this year in Copenhagen, where the negotiators from all around the world will gather together. We must agree to a global agreement which will work as a successor regime of the Kyoto Protocol. That's the highest priority of me as Secretary General. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the great powers of an organization like yours, like Lions Club, is that it reminds us in the most practical ways possible that our destiny lies in our own hands. We are responsible for what happens to us. We are responsible for what happens to our neighbors. And we are responsible for what will happen to our succeeding generations. peace, prosperity, and fulfillment of the dreams on which United Nations is built, these things begin with you, with me, and with all of us. So I thank you for being here today, and I thank you for your commitment to our common goals, and I thank you for spreading such a positive messages of hope through your work around the world. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Thank you.